Hey everyone, welcome back to Generation in Between, where we remember, revisit, and sometimes relearn all kinds of things from our 80s childhoods and 90s. I did it wrong again.
You did it wrong.
Yes. From being 80s kids and 90s teens.
That's right.
I'm moving this mouse
I know. I just noticed
off
that.
my face.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was
sorry
weird.
guys. There's a mouse arrow on my face. Will that be on the YouTube recording?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Anyway. All right. We're all right. We're all right,
hey,
everyone.
everybody. It's me, Katie.
And it's me, Danny.
And you are here on our next installment of Xennial Girl Summer Movie Edition.
Yay, movie
Yay.
edition.
These are so fun.
And you guys are going to be so pumped because this is a Xennial classic that Katie had never seen.
Never seen.
Which is so exciting because I adore this movie.
Yeah.
It's so good. And we'll get there, but I think it holds up. I think it just is, it holds up. But before we start, and this is like the worst timing ever because we just were having a conversation, guys, before we hit record about how overwhelmed Katie is and how life has just been kind of crazy for us this summer.
Yeah.
It's been a little wild. Okay, I'll wait on this.
What?
I'll say it at the end. Just remind me at the end to say what I'm going to say now.
All right.
Okay, listeners, you'll hear
remember.
what I'm going to say. Everybody hold your breath. All right, so we're going to go into our chat about Goonies. And I think the way I laid it out for this one, because I did the research, Katie was going to do it, but then I was like, well, you've never seen it. So that would be weird for you to research it. Like, because, it just wouldn't hit right. So I did the research, and I'm going to do like we did for Clueless. No. Was it Clueless? No, you did the Clueless research.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever movie we did, where I'll give you a little summary and tell you a little bit about the actors.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about the movie, our thoughts on it and stuff, and I'll throw in trivia on the way.
Okay. That sounds good.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're just going to hop right in. You look a lot more happy to talk about this one than you did Porky's.
I am much happier to talk about this one. I mean, Porky's was fine. I was ready for that discussion, but this one will be a little more fun, I think.
Before we go, I have to say something about the Porky's. So y'all heard our episode with our Tales from the Crypt superfan friend, Ben.
Yes.
So Ben loves the movie Porky's. He wanted to be a guest to discuss the movie with us.
Okay.
But we are on a guest break right now, guys. We're not having a guest. It's just too hard with logistics and our schedules. And it's just not doing it. Currently, we will eventually have guests again at some point, but usually we have to do that at night or it's just hard to schedule. So I see him this past weekend, a few days after our episode airs, because I was bartending with him, and he's like, I need to talk to you about Porky's. So he had a laundry list of things to just disagree with us about.
Okay. Hey.
Which I knew would happen.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's fine. And Ben, we appreciate your opinions and thoughts like we do everybody else's, but those were our opinions and thoughts.
Right. And I mean, having Ben on the show for that episode may have been a more nuanced conversation, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and we weren't trying to have like a panel discussion. We were just talking about what we
were
thought.
just like, we saw it, here's what we think.
And that doesn't mean we are correct.
Correct.
And that everybody else is wrong.
Right.
That's just what we thought. I mean, we didn't even agree on some of this stuff. So that's fine. The funniest thing he told me, though, made me laugh because he said, well, you guys kept going back to the whole misogyny, like male gaze kind of thing. And he's like, but it's a teen sex romp comedy. That's the whole point. And I was like, yeah, but we said that. But then I got home and I thought, yes, but can you not have a teen sex romp comedy without misogyny? Because I think you can.
Ooh, I don't know.
I think you can.
I mean, I don't think you can have it without objectification.
But
which is not the same as misogyny.
Correct. It's different. But don't you think, I think you can totally do it. And I feel like maybe it has been done a little bit and we just don't know because we're old people and don't keep up with the times.
Correct.
But anyway, that was one of those thoughts that you think later, you're like, shit, I should have said that. In the moment, I should have told him that.
I've got the perfect comeback for you, Ben.
But Ben's really good at arguing.
Yes.
Like he's super good at it. He should be a lawyer.
That's right.
But anyway,
there's still time.
He loves the movie.
Okay.
He thinks,
So 5 stars from Ben, you think? Or 4?
I didn't ask, but probably is my guess.
All
anyway, he had a lot of things to address with us.
Hey, let's go.
All right. Anyway. All right. So let's get into Goonies.
Okay.
So here's the summary that was on IMDb. A group of young misfits called the Goonies discover an ancient map and set out on an adventure to find a legendary pirate's long-lost treasure.
Yes.
Okay, I have seen this movie a bunch. But guys, I did not realize that Chris Columbus and Steven Spielberg were the writers of this movie.
Okay.
Did you notice that?
I did notice that.
I didn't know that. And Troy was like, how did you not know that? I was like, I don't know. I did not realize that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it was the first time I've seen it. I just always knew it was a Spielberg movie. So
I did not.
I wasn't that surprised when it was like Chris Columbus. I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know why I didn't realize it was a Steven Spielberg movie. Everybody out there is probably like, oh my God, Danny. Yeah.
Well, he's got so many others from that era that I'm not saying Goonies is definitely iconic, but I think that like he is so closely associated with that maybe this one's just not like as close of an association with him.
Yeah.
In people's minds.
True. And
Maybe.
I forgot to write the year this came out. I think it was 84.
I think you're right.
Should we Google it? We'll fact check ourselves real quick.
Yes.
Because oopsie.
And I'm sure we'll get into it, but all the different actors.
Yeah, we're about to start talking about that.
Okay.
So Cooper and Troy have just started watching all the Lord of the Rings movies.
Mm-hmm.
And like in order.
Yeah.
And Cooper, I was like, hey, Dad and I are going to sit down and watch Goonies. And I was like, do you want to come watch this? He's like, no, because they've already seen it. But then he remembered that Sean Astin's in it. And he's like, oh, wait, Sam's in it. So
Sam. Oh my God, that's so cute.
So, okay, 85. Yeah,
85.
Right.
Okay.
1985.
Well, I really thought, and I almost texted this to you, and then I'm like, no, I'm just going to save it for live. A young Sean Astin reminds me of Cooper.
I know. I think so too.
Like the look, yes, that's part of it. The way they look, but the voice and his mannerisms,
I know,
and his acting choices, I was like, wow, he really reminds me of Cooper.
I know. I thought that too.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't tell him that because I didn't know. Guys, he's about to be 13, so I don't know.
You could be saying the wrong thing.
It might make him stomp off to his room.
To you, you're like, hey, I'm comparing you to a really famous movie star that I know you like, but to him, it could be like, correct. You think I'm whatever.
I know.
Perceived flaw. I get
correct.
it. Because of his age.
Yeah.
Because of his age.
Because,
it's a hard time.
It is a hard time. But okay, so we're going to talk about the cast.
Okay.
Some other things you may know in the Xennial time period. I mean, a lot of these actors have been in a bajillion things. Mm-hmm. And so y'all do not at me for the things I don't mention. I'm just mentioning some of their highlights. Okay. Excuse me. And then we'll talk about the movie. We'll go through kind of talk about the movie, and I'll throw in some little trivia I found out. It's got some fun tidbits.
Cool.
So I just told you Chris Columbus and Steven Spielberg are the writers. The director was a guy by the name of Richard Donner, who came into his hotness when he directed the OG Superman in 1978 with Christopher Reeve. There was a fun little shout out to him at the end of the movie when Sloth rips his shirt off and he has on the Superman t-shirt.
Oh, yeah. Aw. Yeah. That's so fun.
I thought that was a fun Easter egg. I never put that together. He also directed The Toy in 1982 with Richard Pryor. Have you seen that movie? It's a good one. And Lethal Weapon in 87. But he also directed 2, 3, and 4 of Lethal Weapon as well.
Dang.
So those are just some of the Xennial movies you may have seen that he directed.
Okay.
So he was living a good life back in this time frame. And then let's talk about the actors. So we already mentioned Sean Astin, who played Mikey.
Yes.
And this was his film debut.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Y'all also know him from Lord of the Rings, obviously, but he has probably had one of the most consistent careers filmography wise out of all the people in this cast.
Yeah, he was Rudy.
Well, yeah, he was Rudy, but I mean, like, he has consistently worked. And
that's awesome.
Some movies are big, you know, like Rudy. I mean, he won. Did he win the Oscar? He was nominated. I don't know if he won. I think he did.
I think he did.
Rudy was in 1993 and he was in Lord of the Rings. Do you remember Encino Man? Did you ever see Encino Man?
Yes. I forgot he was in that.
Me too.
Oh, man. That's a good one.
But he also has just kept acting. Like, he's done in his later years, he's like been the dad in some movies. So anyway, he's just been a very consistent actor, which yay, Sean Astin.
Yeah. Like that's, I think, the key component to be having a lifetime career of it. Obviously some superstars do as well. Like I'm thinking of like Brad Pitt or whatever, like you start and you never stop and you're a superstar. But I think the people like Sean Astin who but you wouldn't be like, oh, that's one of the biggest stars of the day, maybe during Lord of the Rings times or whatever. But you do, that's what makes up like a good life, being that performer. And just like you said, the consistency and maybe taking the smaller things or whatever, just to keep working.
Yeah. I think it's pretty awesome. And y'all know I told y'all, Rudy, when we were rewatching it with one of our kids, that was like the third time I ever seen Troy cry. Was like, and I mean, guys, he sobs at that movie. When they go, Rudy, sobbing. And I remember Kaden was like, look at dad.
Look at dad.
Because I'm like, I cry all the time, but Troy's not like, But anyway, Rudy will get him every time, guys. So that's Sean Astin. And then you have somebody whose career took a little bit longer to take off after this movie, and that's Josh Brolin. So he plays Brand, which interestingly enough, I never realized his nickname was for Brandon. And she said it once, the mom.
Yeah. So the nicknames in this movie just really got me. I was like, this is hailing back to the golden age of nicknames. I think.
Yeah.
We had Brand, who I figured out was Brandon, maybe because I heard the mom say it or something.
She said it like one time.
Because my husband's name is Brand.
Right.
So I thought they were saying Brand. They're like, Brand. And I was like, is his name Brand? And then I had the closed captions on and then I saw the mom say Brandon and I was like, oh, it's Brand, which is funny. And then Mikey, which is not that whatever. But then like Data.
So all the characters have nicknames.
Yeah.
They all, I even wrote it down. Let's see. We can say them all because I know Mouth. I love
Mouth
that.
Is
and
funny.
Chunk, of course.
And Chunk.
I thought I wrote it down. Oh yeah. They're all of them, all the main characters are referred to by nicknames. And their real names are either never mentioned at all or just mentioned like once or twice.
Yeah.
Do you want to know their real names since we're talking about it? Okay. Mikey's name is Michael, obviously.
Okay.
Shit. Mouth is Clark.
Oh.
Right? I know. Oh my God. Sorry. Laptop problems, guys. Don't be surprised. What is this doing?
It's not scrolling.
Okay. I am cursed with technology. Sorry, guys. Dead air because Danny sucks at technology.
I guess I could talk.
Okay. Mouth is Clark. Data is Richard.
Oh.
I know.
Okay.
Brand is Brandon. Chunk is Lawrence. He does say it, I think, when he calls the police.
I did hear that one. And the police officer calls him that.
Yeah, Lawrence.
He's like, okay, Lawrence, like the time, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Andy is Andrea. Steph is Stephanie. And Sloth is Lotney. Lotney Fratelli.
Okay. That's quite a name. Lotney Fratelli. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So I'm going to just hopefully not fuck up my computer here because I don't know what it is doing. Like it's losing its mind.
Like scrolling on its
just
own.
hold on. Did you see that? You saw that, yeah? Okay.
I mean, sort of. Everything's a blur. I'm not wearing my glasses.
She's not wearing her glasses because she's trying to be cute. Me too, because I had giant zits on my face, so I had to put makeup on before we started filming. Listen, why am I 44 and still fucking worrying about acne? I hate it. Adult acne is dumb. And if you are a sufferer out there, I am with you, and I hate it so much. Okay, moving on. Josh Brolin. This was also his film debut. But he kind of just had like kind of mediocre success in the 80s and 90s. He was working and he was in things. He was in some TV shows and some smaller movies. But he didn't really get to be like Josh Brolin, the actor, until the early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
And he was in a Quentin Tarantino movie called Grindhouse. And then he was in American Gangster. And then he was in No Country for Old Men, which was really lit the map up for him.
Yeah.
And that was in 2007. So Javier Bardem they played brothers, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. And Javier won the Oscar. I think Josh Brolin was also nominated, but Javier won. And now, of course, people know him as Thanos in the Avengers movies. Did you know he was Thanos?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's in Deadpool. So like he's still pretty relevant now. But it took him a while.
Okay.
Took him a bit to
So he stayed at it.
He stayed at it.
But he comes from a famous family, right?
Yeah.
Isn't James Brolin his dad?
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm not saying like whatever, but like the average person maybe wouldn't stick it out.
Correct.
But if your dad's James Brolin, then maybe you just take what you can get for a while till you break through. I don't know.
Hey, that's a good one.
If you're
that's a good analysis.
Oh, thank you.
No, really.
Okay, good.
She fixed her hair and everything.
I was like,
thank you. No, that's a good analysis. I think you're right.
Not saying that there aren't just non-famous family people that could do that. I just don't think it would be common. You'd give up after a while, I think.
Yeah. I mean, and he's attractive. He's an attractive human.
He's unique looking, though.
I know.
You know, this is so funny. You know how I keep saying, like, in these movies, I can't tell anyone apart. So it wasn't.
It wasn't old lady thing.
I know. I was like, who
oh,
are
they all look alike.
Well, when I saw his name on the screen, Josh Brolin, like in the things, the guy who was in jail, I thought it was him for a second. Because I was thinking of older him, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, wait. And then they're in the house. I'm like, wait, this is like way further back.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have looked that old. But I was like, why do they look the same, though?
They do.
Kind of looked alike to me.
You know what it is he's got like a strong like jawline, cheekbone situation. And so does that actor.
Yeah, maybe that's it. And like I said, I saw the actor that was in jail right after I'd seen the credit on the screen. So I think I just assumed until I was like, wait, he was way younger than this at this time. And then I saw him. I loved his like jock
his outfit. Oh, God, I wrote that down. The shorts over like, sweatpants.
So good.
What?
And the headbands. And then
the bands,
he had like the strength bands that he was like just carrying around. I laughed out loud when she comes in, he's like
they tied
strapped
him up
to the chair and she's like, can't you exercise like a normal person?
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's really funny.
Well,
good.
Troy and I were laughing so hard at the sweatpants and shorts because I'm like, I remember people wearing that.
Yeah.
But what was the point?
I was just thinking that.
Is it so you didn't see the wiener through the sweatpants?
I mean, I don't think so.
You know, the gray sweatpant joke?
Yeah. I guess. But
then
do you guys really care that much about that?
It doesn't really help because they're short, tight shorts.
Yeah.
You can still see wiener.
The only thing I can think is wrestlers specifically layer up to sweat more. Like they wear
but he had on a muscle shirt.
I know. It doesn't make sense. If he was layered everywhere, maybe. Like, okay, he's trying to burn more calories.
But it was like a fashion
more.
thing.
Yeah.
The 80s were wild, guys.
It was. It doesn't make sense.
Anyway, that was
That was fun, though.
This was a funny movie blooper I came across. Sean Astin accidentally calls him by his real name.
Josh?
Uh-huh. In a scene. And I forgot to look for it when we watched the movie because I did the research first and then watched the movie. It's where Chunk accidentally breaks the water cooler when they're exploring the restaurant. Yeah. He says Josh instead of Brand.
Oh.
And I guess they've just missed it in editing.
Oh, so it's still in there.
It's still there.
It's a movie blooper that's there.
Yeah. So we'll have to go back.
I'll have to go back and watch that. Yeah.
There's a lot of fun little things like that will pop up here and there. Okay. So now we're moving on to one of my 1980s crushes, one of many, and that is Corey Feldman. Mm-hmm. You knew I was going to say that.
Yep, I did.
I was in love with both of the Coreys at various times.
Yep.
You know, the other one's Corey Haim.
I would say, what was his last name? Corey Haim.
Yeah. So Corey Feldman played Mouth, and he is one of the Xennial heartthrobs. Everybody knows a Corey Haim movie. Corey Feldman. Whoops.
See?
But they were in a lot of things together, which is why they were called the Coreys. For those of y'all who are youngins and don't know, they were two actors of the same age and they were cast alongside each other a lot.
Yeah.
And so they were called the Coreys. Anyway, so he was in Stand By Me after this, 1986.
Loved that movie.
I know. We'll have to rewatch that one. Add it to our giant list. He was in one of my faves, The Lost Boys, in 1987.
Which we're saving for spooky season. Yes.
He was in that with Corey Haim.
Okay.
So he was in License to Drive in 88, also with Corey Haim.
Wow.
He was in The Burbs in 1989.
I love that movie.
Yeah. He was in, and then I didn't know this. He was the voice of Donatello when they made the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
He was?
In 1990.
I didn't know that either. Oh, that's fun.
I know.
Donatello. Okay.
So, and he's done 80 bajillion other things too, but that's just some of like the high noticeable and some of my
the
favorites.
one that sings Sunglasses at Night? Or is that the other Corey? I wear
No, that's the other Corey.
Sunglasses at night. That's the other one?
And License to Drive?
I think so, yeah.
Or are you thinking of when Corey Haim is in the bathtub in The Lost Boys and he's singing, I ain't got a man,
No.
I ain't got a soul. Okay,
No,
you haven't seen the movie.
I'm thinking of that.
There's y'all out there.
How, based on what I was singing,
First,
did you think that's what I was
First, you need to be
of?
impressed that I just sang that high.
That was pretty good, actually. It's Corey Hart.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking? Oh, I thought you meant they sang the song in a movie. Oh,
This
I know
one.
that song. Yeah, I know that song.
I don't know why I thought it was one of the famous Corys.
Wait. We need to rewind for a second. You thought Corey Feldman or Corey Haim sang the song
Sunglasses
at Night. That is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
This whole time, every time I hear that song, I envision Corey Feldman.
Stop.
But I guess not now.
There
were too many
don't even
Corys.
sound alike.
Well, I know. But I mean, I don't think Patrick Swayze sounds like Patrick Swayze
true.
and She's Like the Wind.
When he's singing.
Yeah.
That's true. A lot of people don't sound like their singing voice doesn't sound like their talking voice.
Yeah, it doesn't like always match up. Even
Right.
Kristen Bell in Frozen, she's Anna.
True.
It took me a while to be like, is that really her though?
Well, and
when
our
she
friend
was singing.
Gina, she's like
Yeah.
that. Because Gina has kind of a rasp in her talking voice, but when she
True.
sings, it is crystal clear.
That's true. I
Right?
never thought about that. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, anyway, it's Corey Hart, everyone, whoever that is.
I was thinking that there was a scene where they sang that. And then I was like, wait, are you thinking that? Okay. Well, you'll know what I'm talking about when we watch The Last Boys. This was a wild.
You're like, oh.
You're like, what the hell are you talking about? You'll see. All right. Moving on to Jeff Cohen, who played Chunk.
Yes.
Okay. So this was the most funnest thing to find out because he was in this movie. And I honestly think he is the best actor in this whole movie.
He's so good.
He's so good. He's such a natural comedian.
Mm-hmm.
He is fantastic. But here's some things. He did a few TV series and did some made for TV movies, did some cartoon voices, but then he left acting completely. And he's an entertainment lawyer to this day. In fact, he is, I'm going to say his name wrong. I looked it up how to say it. The actor who played Data,
Mm-hmm.
he is his lawyer.
Okay.
Isn't that fun?
So he helps them with like contracts and stuff like that.
Entertainment
like, your
lawyer,
basic stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
basic.
Okay.
I'm sure he makes bank.
Especially if he's already in the industry.
Correct.
Then it's like, oh, he knows how it works. And
Right.
like, yeah. And if he's got big name clients like that already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I looked him up.
And he looks totally different.
Yeah.
As a lot of us do.
I mean, a lot of us do. He looks like, he had a growth spurt somewhere along the way and like got tall and lanky. And I think at least the picture I saw, his head was shaved or he was bald. Yeah. Which in the movie, he's got all that hair. Yeah. But I could see it. I was like, oh, yeah. I see it. There he is.
See him.
Yeah.
Chunk was my favorite character and I always felt so bad for him. And I realized while I was watching, it's because I am Chunk. And we'll talk about it more later.
Oh my God.
I was like, God, I always felt so bad for him. And I was like, because I am him.
Yes.
Literally. And when I was that age, I looked kind of like him. I did. But anyway, we'll talk more about Danny and Chunk's spirit souls in a little while.
Your interconnected lives.
Yeah,
Yes.
because then we got to this whole conversation in my house of me and Troy and Cooper of if you were a Goonie, who would you be?
Oh.
Yeah, so think on that. I'll ask you at the end.
Okay.
All right. Then we have Martha Plimpton, who played Steph.
Okay.
And for some reason, I was like, that actress has always reminded me of my sister-in-law, Melinda.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I don't
Yes.
know why. They look a little similar. I think my sister-in-law is way prettier, but and I think Martha Plimpton's pretty, but I just think Melinda is. Anyway, but they remind me of each other
Okay.
so much. And it was funny because I was sitting there and I said, Troy, do you know who she reminds me of? And Cooper goes, Aunt Melinda.
Wow.
Yes.
So it's like, that's so funny.
But anyway, she was in a movie called The Mosquito Coast in 1986 with, I think it was Harrison Ford. Was it Harrison Ford? I don't know. That was a big hit. And then she was in Running on Empty in 1988. But one of my favorites, she was in Parenthood.
Yes.
Yeah, in
I remember her from
1989.
that.
And remember Keanu Reeves was her boyfriend.
Yes.
And that, if y'all have never seen that movie, you got to watch it.
Yeah. That one's good.
The thing I used to always love from that movie was the kids singing, when you're sliding into third and you feel a great big turd, diarrhea.
Yes. I forgot that was in that movie.
Not me.
Not you. But look, don't get your musical trivia
Obviously.
from me. Okay. Unless I've researched it.
Although you do know lots about Broadway stuff.
I do.
So
That's true.
pop music me, Broadway you.
Let's go with that.
Let's do that.
Okay.
And then she was in a movie called 200 Cigarettes in 1999. And it was kind of like an indie movie, but it was so good. And I've totally forgot about it. It's about like New Year's Eve, but it like goes back and forth. I'm going to mess this up because I didn't rewatch or anything. It goes like at different time periods.
On New Year's Eve?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
It's really good. 200 Cigarettes. And there's a
Sounds
bunch of
good.
like, you know, Gen Xers that we would know in there.
Okay.
Anyway, so Martha Plimpton, she's a great actress, I think, because she is able to have that like kind of dry humor. You know what I mean?
I do.
And I think she's good.
Yeah, she was really good.
And then we have Carrie Green, who played Andy,
Okay.
who I thought was the most annoying character of the entire movie.
Yes.
I mean, they wrote her annoying.
it was on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was in a movie called Summer Rental in 85, a movie called Lucas in 1986, Three for the Road, 1987. And then she quit acting for a bit. She went to college at Vassar.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. But then she did return back to acting after that in a TV movie called Blue Flame in 1993. Yeah. And I didn't really look at much else about her because I didn't care.
Well, when you said her name, you said Carrie Green.
Yeah, Carrie Green.
I was like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't, I'm sure there's probably other things. And plus there's a lot of people. But the most interesting career, I think, acting wise, is our man who played Data, and it's Ke Huy Quan. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. He was in Indiana Jones.
Yes,
before
that's what I
this.
remember him from.
He was in 1984. Then he was in Goonies. He was in the TV show Head of the Class. Did you ever watch that show?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I forgot about that. He was. It was in 1990, 1991, and he did not return to acting until 2022, Everything Everywhere All at Once, which he won an Academy Award for.
What? What was he doing all that time?
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
No.
I don't know.
Who knows?
But I was just like, I remember, because I love watching the Academy Awards, and I remember watching his speech. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh, it is so good and so weird and so wonderful. And the acting is just, he won for supporting actor. And I forgot the lady's name who won for playing the lead actress. She was in Wicked.
Oh, Cynthia Erivo?
No.
No.
The one who plays
the teacher.
Uh-huh.
I can't think of her name either.
Anyway,
everyone's
sorry, guys.
screaming at us.
I know.
but
Y'all just screaming at us.
I
We'll
can
fix
see
it.
her face. I can see her face.
Anyway.
So she won
Best
that year.
actress.
Oh.
Yeah. And he
Okay.
won as well. And that movie, it swept the awards that year because it was so creative and so good, and the acting was superb. But I remember watching him in his speech, and he was just, you could tell he was just so grateful. And to know that you can go back to your dream at any time, and there it is. Like,
That's really inspiring.
I know.
Because that's like a long time.
I
That's
want
not
you-
like a decade. That's like 2, 3
Yeah.
if he was in something in 1990.
Yeah, you need to look up his speech and you will sob.
Oh.
I mean, not today. Don't do it today. Today's not the day.
Today's not the
But
day
when you
for me.
need some inspiration to keep going and doing your dream work, look him up.
But I guess that's my question. Did he keep going, or did he make
Stop
the choice
after
to
this?
stop and then say at some point I'm getting back into it, which is still fine, because that's like kind of what
That I
I'm
don't know.
doing with my life at the moment.
Right. Whatever. However your
yeah.
path is, that gets you there.
Yeah.
You don't, I guess my point is,
You can revisit dreams too.
you, just because you're older doesn't mean you're done.
Yeah.
And because he won and she won, and they were both in their 50s, I guess.
Probably. Yeah. That's probably right.
So
Well,
never give up on your dreams, kids.
Never give up.
They're still there.
I was on a walk with my friend Pam. Hi, Pam, if you're listening.
Hi, Pam.
She's so upbeat and wonderful. And we were just talking about things. We're talking about the book I'm working on. And she has some friends in the entertainment industry telling me stuff that they're working on. And then she just like looked at me and she goes, I just feel like this is a season of dreams coming true.
Oh my God, I love that.
And I was like, I can't believe you just said that. She's like, I just do. I'm just feeling it. And I was
love
like,
that
was like, thank you, like, for saying that. And she meant like me, because we were talking about my book. She meant her friend. She's looking at some opportunities for herself. She goes, I just really feel that way.
I love that.
I know. So we're claiming it. Listeners, we're in a season of dreams coming true.
All we need is one famous person to hear this podcast and love us.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't find us on YouTube. Just hear us.
Audio only.
Audio only.
Yes, just one.
All we need is one. And then they can tell everybody how amazing and hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's it. We're amazing and we're hilarious. And there's no other adjectives that describe us at all.
Period.
Okay.
All right.
Yay. So good for that guy.
Okay. So now we're going to move on to the actor who played Sloth, whose name is John Matuzak. I think is that right? Okay. He was a professional football player before he went to acting. He, shit, what'd I do? Guys, I don't know. It's laptop problems.
What we need to do is, so I'm saying this out loud so we hopefully remember, is fix your settings so it doesn't turn off so fast.
Okay.
Like you can do something where it like
Katie's
stays
like,
here.
fix your shit, dumbass.
We're going to fix this, but not right now because we're recording.
Danny, fix it. Okay, so he was actually the first overall pick in the 1973 NFL draft.
Okay.
I know.
I could see that, though.
He won 2 Super Bowls with the Oakland Raiders.
Okay.
And fun fact about that, there is a little Easter egg. Sloth, when you first see him, is wearing a Raiders shirt.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Aww.
That's why. Yeah. And then also I told you about the Superman shirt. It took 5 hours for that poor man to get into his sloth.
I was going to say all those prosthetics and makeup and everything. Dang.
Yeah. It's 5 hours. After he did Goonies, he had guest roles on several TV shows and small movie roles, but he actually died of heart failure in 1989. So only a few years after this.
Dang.
Isn't that sad?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now we're going to get into the Fratellis a little bit. Robert DeVee played Jake. Fun fact about him, he is a trained opera singer, so all the singing you see was really him.
He sounded good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Legit. And a lot of people know him from the movie Die Hard. Yeah. Now, and once I say this, you're going to remember.
It took me a second, but yes.
Yep. In 1988, he was also in a James Bond. He was a bad guy in James Bond movie, License to Kill, 1989. He was in Showgirls, 1995. And also, random facts, he also has some voices in popular video games like Grand Theft Auto and Halo. So
okay.
And so does the other brother. He also has some voices.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So he's kind of like a Hollywood, like a well-known bad guy. He's got like that look.
He does. Like we said, with like the jawline
and the deep voice.
And the deep voice. Yeah. Yeah.
He's a good bad guy.
He is.
I bet he's really nice in real life though.
Probably.
You know?
That's usually how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's fun. And speaking of his singing, the scene where he picks up Chunk in the car and he starts singing from Madame Butterfly, he improvised that. They didn't tell him to do that. He just started doing that and they kept it in.
Oh my gosh. That's
like
so
they were
cool.
supposed to just pick him up and put him in the car and he started singing.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, yeah, you go, Mr. Opera Improv. I love that.
Yeah, opera improv. That's not
Opera
something you
improv.
hear every day.
Hey, him and Gina should get together.
They
That'd
should.
be entertaining.
They could do a
whole
opera
show.
improv off.
Oh God, that'd
like
be
a battle.
great. Oh wait, is he alive still? I think so.
I don't know.
Oh my God, great research. So Joe Pantoliano. Wait, no, Pantoliano. That's it.
Pantoliano.
He played Francis. He's been in a bazillion things.
I would say as soon as I saw him, I'm like,
bazillion.
I know this guy.
And his voice has too. He's voiced a lot of characters. He's super familiar. He was in La Bamba. I don't know if you remember that in 87. He was actually in a couple episodes of Tales from the Crypt in early 90s. One of the ones that Ben mentioned on his episode about The guy who keeps dying.
Yes.
Okay. He's in that one.
He's in that one? Okay.
He's the main character in that one. He was in The Fugitive with Harrison Ford in 93. He was in Calendar Girls in 93 with Jason Priestley. Do you remember that movie?
Just now.
I know. He was in Bad Boys in 95 and the sequel. He was in The Matrix in 1999.
Jeez.
I know. He was in The Sopranos.
Okay.
So anyway, he's been in a lot of shit.
That's an interesting actor too, because like I saw him, but I wasn't like, oh, that's so-and-so. Like he's not like
You
a
knew you'd
household
seen
name.
him. Yeah.
But all those movies you're listing are like some of the biggest movies, and
Right.
The Sopranos is a huge show. That's an interesting take on acting too.
I know.
That he's been in all these amazing things and maybe not like the lead front person, but made this career of being like what his niche is, which is maybe more like the
Like
supporting
character
acting.
Which I think is really fun because I think when you are a very, I think of people, his name is failing me now. It'll come to me in a minute. When you think of people who are kind of unique looking or they have a unique voice and they're not like a traditional looking movie star, I feel like they become character actors, but that's where I feel like the fun acting is.
Yeah.
I think the fun acting is character acting.
Definitely.
Like it's the best. And then you're always working.
That's exactly it. Like this guy's an example.
Yeah.
Where like you said, he's not traditionally like a heartthrob, but he's not like unattractive, but he's not like, there's nothing super definitive about how he looks.
Yeah. Well,
which helps him kind of
chameleon
and
he's
into
good.
Stuff. And
He's
his
funny
delivery
and
is
good.
really
Yes.
good. Yeah.
I mean, Keanu Reeves can't do that. Just saying.
Oh, okay.
But he can go be a heartthrob. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
What? Well, we were talking about The Matrix.
Okay.
So it
I was like,
popped
that
in
was
my-
a
like
really random coming at Keanu Reeves.
Well, we talked about Parenthood
We did say
and
Parenthood and The Matrix.
He was
so
just on the forefront of my
it's
mind.
not that random after all.
You
Okay.
know. Okay, so let's talk some more about the movie. Let me tell you some more trivia.
Let's go.
So this movie was shot almost entirely in sequence in Astoria, Oregon.
Okay.
On the coast, which it looks very, and you can see a sign, I think, when they're going through the downtown on their bikes. It says Astoria. And it was on a 5-month shooting schedule. The bigger scenes, like the pirate ship and the cave and the tunnels and stuff, were shot on a soundstage in Burbank. So, but all the other stuff was in Astoria, Oregon. And a mayor back years ago named June 7th Goonies Day. So every June 7th, they have a big annual celebration in the town.
That's fun.
So I'm like, dang, we should have done this episode first.
Right.
I know.
Well, we didn't know.
I know.
We didn't know there was
Now
a
we know.
Goonies Day in Astoria, Oregon, but now we do.
I need to tell I wonder how far that is from where my sister lives. It's probably far. Like, I don't know. Like somebody's like, oh, you live in Oregon? Or like, you live in Florida? Are you close to wherever? And it's like, no, that's 8 hours away.
I know. Oregon's a big state too.
It is.
I don't think as big as Florida, but it's a big state, depending where you're at.
I'm going to tell her to go if she lives close by.
Go celebrate.
She'll be like, okay. Anyway, the house where they filmed, like the kids' house, used to be open to the public for people to go like look at and see. But in 2015, the couple who owned it were getting sick of the tourists, so they closed it.
Yeah.
But then a couple years ago in 2023, a new owner purchased it and brought it back to how it looked in the film.
Oh, that's cool.
And so now occasionally you can go do tours. And
okay. Does the person live there, or they just bought it for that purpose? You don't know. I would think maybe for that purpose. I wouldn't want strangers walking through my actual house.
Add that to stupid shit I would probably do if I had a lot of money. Like just renovating, like fun.
Like the Christmas Story house.
Yeah.
I could see you doing that.
Oh, yeah. But I would live in it, I think.
Yeah, you would.
I think I would live there.
But then you'd have to live in Ohio.
Oh, yeah, I'm not doing that. It's too cold. Okay, so we already talked about the nicknames, how they had little nicknames. Okay, let's talk about the PG rating and how all the things you find in an 80s movie with a PG rating.
Yes. I know.
Like the first 5 minutes and the penis on the statue.
Yeah.
Like zooming in, penis. I remember as a kid being like, because I had a sister. And so I remember being like 5 or 6 being like, oh, is that what that looks like?
Right. Like that's your introduction to the male anatomy is watching Goonies. And it's like a Michelangelo statue. That's true.
Could be a lot worse.
Yeah, that was funny. I mean, they said I can't remember which ones now, but they said a decent amount of curse words, which
Lots
you
of
can do.
shits.
Lots of shits, which you can do in PG.
Yeah.
But
lots of shits, lots of penis jokes, lots of like sexual innuendos.
Yeah.
And then like the bully in the car looking at the girl's dress.
Yes. Gross.
Obviously they had like violence and torture, but nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy.
But I think 80s PG compared to today's PG.
Yeah.
Like I think Cars 2 is rated PG or something dumb. And it's
Okay.
like, what?
Yeah.
Like
I
this
totally
would
agree.
not be a PG
I don't
movie.
think it would. I think
It would be PG-13 for
I think
sure.
it would.
Interesting fact about the swear words. The swearing in the movie was deliberately and strategically placed so it could be easily drowned out by broadcasters who wanted to remove it. So like when you play it on TV or something. So it's like if you watch it closely, the cursing usually happens when there's a lot of background noise, like the police chase in the beginning of the film, or there's other people talking, or when there's like running water or another like loud sound, like a crash or something.
Okay. That way it wouldn't be as noticeable that it's not.
Yeah.
There's a word missing.
Yeah. And
Okay.
it said that way the broadcaster could lose the profanity in the sound mix. You would probably know more about that than me. I don't know how to edit any sound. Or you can cut a couple of seconds of footage without losing anything important to the story.
Yeah. So that would be my only thing. I assume then they weren't on their faces when they said it then.
I don't.
Because you would see them say it. So they must have.
But I mean, I can remember watching movies that have been edited
Well, that's what I mean.
for TV. Like you're like, that's not what they say.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Because remember we saw that in Dawson's Creek. Remember they edited something weird.
Yes. I can't remember what that was now, but yeah.
It was with Jen.
And their mouth was moving different than what they were actually saying.
That was on your X-ray trivia.
That was on my X-ray trivia, which I found some more of, by the way.
Yay, I can't wait.
We'll get to it.
Okay, so you didn't write down any notes.
I didn't. I just watched it. I watched part of it on a plane and then part of it just while I was home.
Okay. Now I will bring up what I was going to say when we started.
Yay!
It's a perfect segue.
Okay.
So as y'all know, Katie and I, when we rewatch stuff, a lot of times it happens in pieces or at weird times. But here's what I think. And you're not going to like this. That's why I was waiting.
Oh, no.
And Troy even said she is not going to like that. Here's what I think we need to start doing moving forward.
What's
not
that?
for Dawson's Creek, so don't freak out. When we do a rewatch of a movie, like one of these older movies, I think we need to intentionally sit down and watch it start to finish without watching it in bits.
Well, that's what I did with like Labyrinth.
Right.
And I mean, that's what I would prefer to do. I just can't.
I know. We're going to do that moving
Okay.
forward.
All right. Because what's
we
our
have
next
weeks.
one?
We have a couple
Fast
weeks.
Times is our
American
next one.
Pie.
American Pie's next. Okay.
We only have 2 more this summer.
Yeah. And then we'll
because here's why. This one I did sit down and watch all the way through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like especially with these movies from way back, we need to watch it how we were like, if we would have rented it and brought it home from the video store,
true.
That's how we would have watched it.
Not like moving from room to room, pausing it, etc.
Because when we do that, we're not fully paying attention.
No.
I know I'm not.
No, of course
and then
not.
I miss stuff, and then it's like whatever. So I was thinking about that because I was like, man, that was so much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I feel like we miss some of the magic when we watch it in bits.
Sure.
So
okay,
but you have 2 weeks to plan it out.
Okay, got it.
And the good news is the older movies aren't as long as our newer movies.
That's true. Well, it's funny you said that, and I was going to talk to you this off air, but I'll just say it here too.
Yeah.
When we were on our trip, we had a night where everybody put their phones away. It was the 7 of us, and we sat there and watched straight through Happy Gilmore.
I love that.
Because the new one's coming out,
yeah,
which we did talk about, so I think we should rewatch and watch the new one and do an episode when that happens. But it was super enjoyable. It was like, I think maybe we paused to use the bathroom once or twice.
Of course,
like
potty
that.
breaks
but
allowed.
Because someone had to go really badly, and so we're all like, well, let's all just like fill up our water and like go to the bathroom. But like, it was really enjoyable. It was fun.
Well, I think too, what's helped me is like getting somebody to watch it with me makes me pay more attention.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, Troy and I watched Porky's together. then Cooper, he wasn't going to watch it, but as soon as we hit play, he was like, I'm going to come watch it.
Yeah.
Caden hates watching movies. So he just, especially, he's not a rewatcher of movies.
Mhm.
So if he's seen it once,
that's it. Moved on.
I mean, he'll rewatch it for his girlfriend, who is Katie's daughter.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they do watch a lot of I think they watch horror movies and stuff.
And he does not like horror.
Yeah.
But
they'll watch the
takes
older
one for the
ones.
team there. So anyways, so that's what we're going to do moving forward.
Okay.
We're going to plan it.
And I wanted to watch this one with my youngest,
I know, life
Tegan,
is crazy. I know.
and it just didn't happen.
Well, the next one you don't need to watch with her.
No. The next one
Maybe.
He does like that movie. It's just I never see him either.
I know.
I have to watch him at 4 or 5 in the morning, or I'm not watching him. But I can do it all at once.
But you got time.
Yeah, I got time.
You got 2 weeks to plan. See, I told y'all she's stressed out looking at me with eyes of daggers. She's like, fuck.
No, I don't mind. I can make it happen.
It's gonna change our magical. And I'm gonna do it too, because I am also, I mean, I'm not just this is for me. We're gonna do it. I said not for Dawson's Creek though, because that don't matter. It's fine.
You can watch that in segments and process thoughts on that segment.
Well, there's commercial breaks in Dawson's Creek.
Totally.
So,
and it's a long series. It's not like a unit of a film that's designed a certain way for you to watch it all at once. Dawson's Creek is designed with breaks. Yeah.
But see, we owe it to you listeners to have a genuine experience.
That's true.
We owe it to you.
That's true.
So we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
All right.
Now watch. We're gonna come back on here and be like, okay, I failed.
Well, we can set the intention.
Well, Troy was like, well, it would be really better if y'all would watch it together. I said, there's no way in fucking hell we can plan for that to happen.
Yeah. I mean,
it would take so much
I was thinking
planning.
when spooky season comes, we might be able to do a few like that.
Well, yeah,
because
our
our
kids
kids are,
so many.
I was going to say, because our kids are back in school and I don't have my full-time job anymore. So we could schedule days or mornings or afternoons or something like that, which is kind of silly maybe for a spooky film.
No.
But I think we could. But yeah, this summer is
summer's too crazy.
Do stuff.
And we got too much happening in our lives.
We do.
Anyway. Okay. So there it is. That's what I was going to say. See, I couldn't start off with that. I had to wait. Because I was
smart.
Like, she would have got up and said, I'm done with you today. All right. So here's some more fun trivia. So the scene where Mikey is telling the story in the attic when they find the map.
Yes.
Where he's telling about One-Eyed Willie, that is actually kind of improvised. So what happened was the director, before they started filming, told Sean Astin, he's like, here's this story. And so he tells him the story and he said, okay, now we're going to hit record and you're going to retell it. Because he wanted it to be like a genuine kid being like, and then, and I knew that before I watched it and I was like, okay, I think it worked.
Wow.
He did it.
That's
really,
awesome.
I know. So he wanted it to be like a natural storytelling.
Okay.
So I was like, that's brave though as a director.
It is.
But I guess you just refilm it. If it's
yeah. If it didn't work, it didn't work.
Didn't
no
work.
big deal.
And then another fun thing about the treasure map, it actually, it was worn and stuff. It had real life blood speckles on it. So the production designer was a guy by the name of J. Michael Riva. When they originally had it, he thought it looked too new. So he wanted to age it. He burned some of it and had coffee marks, whatever. And he wanted to put blood spots on it. But the prop department did not have any red paint. So he pricked his own finger and just was like, boop, 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 boop.
God.
Dedication.
Also
kind of gross.
Not the most sanitary.
No. Also, it was the 80s, so there you go.
Yeah.
Funny thing, too, is after filming, Sean Astin, actually, they gave him the map,
Oh.
and he kept it. A few years later, though, his mom accidentally threw it away
Oh,
when she was cleaning their house because she thought it was trash.
Yeah.
I would totally do that. That would totally be me.
Did his mom not see the movie?
I don't know.
Hello?
I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering if he was a kid.
He's a kid. Maybe it was
teenager.
crumbled up somewhere. It probably wasn't prominently nicely displayed.
I know.
It's probably in a pile of trash or something.
Yeah. So.
I bet Sean Astin, because doesn't he have one of the rings from the Lord of the Rings movies?
I
There's
think
some kind of lore around that. There's 5 rings and some of them are missing. And I think he has one. So he's probably got, and Rudy, he's probably got some cool stuff from the films he's been in.
Yeah. Anyway,
we need a Sean Astin museum. That's what you should have.
I don't want that. I'm okay.
Okay. Well, just put it in your back pocket in case you need an idea.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so let's talk about how bullies in 80s movies are like legitimate psychopaths.
Right.
Every movie, like, it's not just bullying. It is like torture behavior. Like, he's driving the fucking car, holds on to the kid's hand while he's on this baby bike.
Yes. I know.
And then lets him go and he goes off a cliff.
I know. They're
Really
bad.
legitimate psychos.
Yeah. Like these bullies are not okay.
They are not okay.
They are not okay and not going to be okay.
I mean, generally, if bullying is happening, they're usually not okay. Spoken to somebody who's been bullied and been a bully. So, yeah. Also, the best line in the whole movie is when Troy the bully screams down the well, Andy, you goody!
Yes, I love that. So first of all, were they really going to put people in that bucket?
I know.
That was weird.
I think they were going to like step in the bucket and then hold on to the rope.
Oh, all right. Even then, because
I know the math
I was
wasn't mathing.
I was watching it and I was like, well, maybe the bucket's bigger than I think. But then when they pull it up and hold, it's like, I'm like, who was going
it's
to be
a water? It's for like a well,
right? But that's why I was like, who was going to ride up in this bucket? Like, what? I was very confused.
I just thought that was so funny. And like, were they not? Troy was like my Troy, not the bully Troy in the movie. Also, we were giggling about that, but they were just like standing around a wishing well.
Yeah, like it was like the hangout spot.
And then they hear her down there, and they were very unalarmed. They're just like, "What are you doing down there?"
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I love that if we're talking about the wishing well, when they decide not to take all the stuff because it's other people's wishes.
I know.
But then
fuck that. I would have taken it.
But then Mouth is like, but I'm taking this one back because it's mine. And I'm like, how do you know that
Symbolic.
That one's you? I know. I was being too literal. I'm like, the bucket is too small. How does he know that's his coin? This movie is terrible. Just kidding. It was good, but for some reason, it must have been the point of time that I was watching those 10 minutes of the movie that I was just not having it.
You're like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Well, I also would have been like, taking those coins. I would have been, well, that was before they found the pirate ship and they were just fine with treasures. But I would have been like, fuck that. I'm taking these. Yeah. People's wishes are coming home in my pocket.
Yeah, maybe I can make them come true. I don't know.
Right, correct. Okay, speaking of, let's talk about the cinematography in this movie. I thought was so good.
Yeah.
All the shots, I loved how all the shots that they had of the kids together were so, it was like you could have had a still frame of each one.
Yeah.
It was perfect. Like the way they would place them in a group, and it was just, it was
really good. It was really good.
Perfection of blocking. I just thought that was really good. And I never noticed that before. Of all the other times I've watched it, I never noticed like, oh, that's really smart. Really smart. It's like they know what they're doing.
It's like they're directors that have done other really popular movies before.
Okay, so something that was not well done. Let's talk about the bats in the cave.
Oh God.
So there were prop bats on strings, and you could see the string.
Oh,
okay. But the bats that fly out, all those were bow ties and wads of black paper mache that they shot out of an air cannon.
Okay. It shows.
You're like, and that checks.
I mean, but what are you actually going to do? Have a real bats around all these actors?
Well, prop bats.
You could have, what do you mean prop bats?
Well, they had the prop bats on a string, so I wonder why they didn't shoot those out.
Well, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Well, I guess they probably wouldn't take off. It'd probably just flop.
Yeah.
That'd actually be really funny.
But they could have done a scene, like, just to show real bats that didn't have the people in it, too. Like, obviously, they can edit that.
Yeah, but I guess it's the 80s. And
I guess they're just like, let's do, what did you say they did? Paper mache and
bow
what?
ties.
And I guess they're just like, bow ties, paper mache. But honestly, creative people like that, although it didn't quite work, but I get where they were coming from, really impressed me. Like here at my studio, like some of the ideas that like our costumer comes up with and like our set people, I'm like, yeah, how did you think of that? You know, sometimes I can't think outside.
You are.
I'm just like, let's order the thing on Amazon. They're like, oh no, we can make it with this, and this. And I'm like,
well, look, You
Okay.
are creative in other ways. Okay.
That's true. That's true.
So
I'll take that.
everybody has their
strength.
area.
Yeah.
And yours is other things.
It can be.
It is. Dirt.
Okay.
Period.
It is. Period.
Period. Dot. Okay. So here's a fun little Easter egg. So, you know, when Chunk calls the police from the phone to report and they think he's pranking them again. So there's a fun little shout out to Gremlins.
Oh.
Because the police officer's like, where he's like recalling all of Chunk's previous stories. He's like, oh yeah. And the time you called about the little creatures that multiply when you pour water on them. Fun fact, Steven Spielberg and Chris Columbus and Corey Feldman all worked on Gremlins.
Wow.
So that was thrown in for that fun little.
Okay. Now that I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Pretty fun.
But I like that.
Okay. So since we're talking about the cave, can we talk about the kiss?
Yes.
Before I say what I was going to say, what are your thoughts?
It was, well, first of all, I don't know. It just kind of made me squirm a little. But then, I don't know. It felt a little like this is how it's supposed to look when there's like a romantic moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, they were in a cave. I don't know.
I said to Troy, why do 80s movies have so many non-consensual kisses?
Well, there's that. Yes.
Like Revenge of the Nerds, 16 Candles. I mean, that's just two off the top of my head.
Right. I mean, that's true.
And like Mistaken Identity.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I mean.
I see what you're saying now. Right. Where it's like
they think it's one person and it's another.
Right. But it's still right. It is non-consensual.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't know. Why is that a thing? Is that funny? Like, do people think that's funny?
I don't find that humorous.
I think mistaken identity stuff can be funny, non-kissing things. But even it gets tedious to me. Brant hates it.
I know, and
He
so
hates
they came to see the last show I was in, which was all about mistaken identity. It's a farce.
He's like, it's funny because I mean he does have a lot of opinions about a lot of things, but like he doesn't have a lot of specific like theater, movie, TV show opinions. And he was just one day he was like, you know what I really hate is like games of telephone that go wrong, like where someone says this and then it's a mistake. And he's like, I don't enjoy it. And I was like, well, there's a lot of like shows and TV. He's like, every episode of Three's Company is that. I was like, are you watching Three's Company? Is anyone watching? He's like, I'm just saying. He's like, I couldn't put my finger on when I was like a younger person why I didn't like that show. And I think that's why.
It's hilarious.
So it's just funny. It's like his one like plot device that he's like, no, I don't like it.
Troy and Cooper said it stresses them out.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Because Cooper's like, he's like, it's stressful because it's like everything would be solved if people would just talk to each other.
Yes.
And I'm like, I know, but that's the whole joke.
And
like,
then sometimes you're also like, you almost can't suspend disbelief enough.
I know.
You're like, there's no way that this would happen.
I know, but that's the whole joke.
But I thought the play that you were in, it was convincing. Seeing it live is different than seeing it in like a movie or on TV.
I guess. I don't know. I don't mind mistaken identity, but I don't like when it's a trick to get kissed. I don't like that.
No, me either. Yuck.
That's gross. I don't like that. And I'm
I
not
don't
going to
like
like
it
that no matter what fucking decade it is. Whoever wants to come for me. I
Yeah.
don't care. I don't like it.
Don't like it. Never.
I don't like it. Okay. Don't you think the Goonies would be an excellent ride in my nostalgia theme park idea?
Yes.
Remember I came up with that?
Yes. So they would like go through the cave and you'd see the wishing well.
It'd be like
you'd end up on the ship.
Like a roller coaster type ride. Oh, it could even be a water ride like Pirates of the Caribbean.
That'd be fun.
It could be all kinds of, but it could not be like any CGI bullshit. It would have to be real.
Yeah.
Animatronic somewhere.
Yes.
Katie's like, damn it. Animatronic sloth that would be
amazing.
Epic.
That would be really good.
And it could be right next door to the Ride the Falcor experience or whatever we called it.
I like that. Ride the Falcor experience. That's fun.
That could be CGI.
You'd have to use a little bit.
Have you been on that Avatar ride and Animal Kingdom where you get on
it'd be like that
thing? That's what except Falcor.
Except Falcor.
And then when you come out, there's an opportunity to take a picture with him.
I love it.
Somebody capitalize on this.
Come on now. We've got all these ideas. All we have to do is go back through our catalog, which by the way, we have over 100 episodes now. Yeah. And just there's all of the right ideas.
I'm sure licensing would be a fucking nightmare though, because it's all different companies and film.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Like
anyway.
if you go to like Disney parks, it's all owned by Disney or Universal or whatever.
Well, anyway, Disney, capitalize on my idea and I'll make you money because I know you're struggling. Ha, just kidding.
Yeah. She's got your $1 million
But
idea.
I kept thinking of that when I was watching. I was like, dang, this would be a good ride.
Yeah, it would be.
It'd be
I agree
really
with you.
good.
Yeah.
Anyway, all these ideas and nowhere to put them. Okay. So speaking of rides, the slide that they go on at the cave, that was real. They really built that for them.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. And we were laughing because the girl playing Steph, she like does all these flips and shit. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if that was on purpose.
And they just left it in. They're like, wow, that looked really realistic.
Like,
are
holy
you
cow.
also, are you okay?
But how fun is that? Like, I
Yeah.
was like, that's so fun that they really got to go on that fun little water
That is
slide.
really fun.
They even thank the end credits, thank the Langford Surf Coaster Corporation for building it.
Langford Surf
Coaster Corporation.
Fun. Okay.
They are no longer. They like merged or something, whatever. I looked it up. Okay. Also, speaking of the pirate ship, there is this famous story about them and when they first saw it. Supposedly, now some actors say this is true, others say it's not. So I don't know. But supposedly the director did not want them to see the ship built until they were filming, which I kind of believe because of the improv scene they did with Sean Astin. So he had them when they go under the water and turn around, go underwater, and then come up and turn around to see the ship and film their genuine reaction.
Oh, love that.
Except Josh Brolin fucked it up because he heard everybody else come up and realized he was late. Like they came up before him. So he popped up and turned around and went, fuck.
Oh,
So they couldn't use it.
No. Oh, no.
And so the director was like, go back under. And he ruined it.
It's like all these lengths we went to.
Yeah.
And then Brand in his sweatpants with shorts over the top, being a true
Ruined it.
teen, saying the F word in our shot. That's really funny.
I know. I just loved it. So speaking of the ship, it took them 2 months to build that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe that.
And it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Oh, so I never did say how my spirit character is Chunk.
Yes, tell me.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, when I was that age, I did look very similar to Chunk. Okay. But also he's like super clumsy.
He is.
Right?
Yeah.
Also me. Especially you put me on a set, just be warned. And if you've ever been on a show with me, you can probably think of at least one time that I messed something up. And he's like really loud.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's really loud. Like when he's first
He
in
talks
the
so loud.
thing with Sloth, when he's in the little prison or whatever, and he's jumping on the chair and he's like, "Ah!" like over and over.
So loud.
It made me laugh.
I know.
Because he was like really committed in his face, but he is very loud.
Yeah. And he's, awkward and just kind of goofy.
Uh-huh.
But also he's hella anxious.
Yes.
And I was like, that's why I am Chunk.
You sympathized with him.
Yeah, it's all right. That's me. But I had a friend in high school who had a younger brother that was like a year or two younger than us, whose nickname was Chunk.
Oh.
But he was a big guy. He played football and
Okay.
sweet. And he was kind of like that. He was kind of goofy and klutzy.
Yeah.
But we called him
Aw.
Chunk. Yeah. Can't even
Okay.
remember his real first name now.
You know? Chunk is iconic.
It is. Okay. Did you catch the music joke when she's playing how she had to play the notes so they could get the bridge down, and she's reading the music?
I didn't catch it.
Okay. I didn't catch it either until I read the trivia where she's like, I can't tell if this is an A sharp or a B flat. It's the same note, guys. It's the same note. So really, no matter what she played,
It's the same note.
it's the same note. I was like, that's a good one.
That's really funny.
Because if you don't play music, you don't know.
you're like, oh, yeah, she doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Isn't that good?
Yeah,
It's
that's
like a
good.
little inside music
That was
joke.
fun.
Nobody in my house got it. I was like, oh, y'all get that? And they were like, what? So I was like, it's anyway.
You musicians.
You musicians. Okay, so Data, I had to say, I know he's supposed to be like James Bond.
Mhm.
All his stuff like says 007. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Like his belt and like some of his little packs say 007. He reminded me of Inspector Gadget though.
I was thinking MacGyver. Or maybe
MacGyver.
both. But both, yeah.
Because he had like that long jacket and then he had that punching hand. I swear Inspector Gadget had one of those.
I swear. Yeah, I think you're right. And like the zip line and everything. Like, yeah.
That's who he reminded me of the
I
whole
love
time.
that. Yeah.
Also, a deleted scene, which I looked up and it's really good, by the way. At the end of the movie where they're talking to the reporters, Data says the octopus was very scary. Well, you never saw an octopus in the movie.
Right.
Except there is a deleted scene where they first see the pirate ship that an octopus comes and grabs Steph and grabs Mouth. And then Data comes, feeds the octopus his Walkman. And I can't remember what song was playing. And then the octopus lets them go and like swims away dancing, like as the Walkman's playing in his mouth.
Oh my God, that's cute.
It's hilarious.
But so they left in the line where he says the octopus.
Yeah.
I mean, which is funny anyway.
Right.
If you never saw one, because then you're like, wait, what?
Yeah. But apparently it wasn't cut out in all versions. Like the movie theater one, it was. But I think that there were some VHS tapes that had it. And then like when they would play it on like the Disney Channel and stuff, it would be in there.
Okay.
But in other TV stations, it wouldn't.
Okay.
So look it up. It's like
optional
less than
scene.
2 minutes.
Okay.
It's fun.
That's cute.
Also, there was a Goonies oath that they cut out, but I found it.
Ooh.
Because you know they always say Goonies never say die.
Yeah.
Well, they had a whole oath. So here it is. I will never betray my Goondock friends. We will stick together until the whole world ends. Through heaven and hell and nuclear war, good pals like us will stick like tar. That does not really rhyme. In the city or the country or the forest or the boonies, I am proudly declared a fellow Goonie.
Oh, that's cute.
I love it. Except war and tar.
Even with that
rhyme.
war and tar situation, it's still pretty cute.
But I thought that was really cute. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me any other thoughts you had. That's into my trivia.
Okay. I mean, like I already said the thing about the nicknames. That was one I really, really wanted to say. Oh, we didn't really talk about the housekeeper.
Oh,
Rosalita.
yeah.
So I was confused at the beginning because I just thought they were losing their house. That like they were getting evicted because they were getting evicted. Later, I figured it out.
That
like
they
the
were
whole country club thing. Which, by the way, that is such a plot device for movies from this time.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Some corporation trying to buy out your property or making you move or something like that. Like I was trying to think of examples of that, but like you see that a lot of different places in these films. But so then I was confused when they had like a housekeeper because I was like, wait a minute, can they like not afford their house? But then they have this woman helping.
Well, she was coming to
help them move. But then eventually I figured that out.
Yeah,
I thought I don't know. Was it funny when Mouth was like talking to her in Spanish saying the wrong things, or was that not funny? I couldn't decide.
I mean, he was a kid being an idiot. Like,
yeah.
So I think it was fine. But also like, first of all, he spoke terrible Spanish.
He did.
He did really bad.
But then there were a few times he could interpret it enough that it helped. Like when they were looking at the map and stuff like that.
Right. But also, like, I think him telling her the wrong stuff, like, first of all, it's just such an 80s thing. Like, this probably would have really happened. Like, the lady goes and, the mom goes and hires someone and she can't speak to her.
Right.
So she relies on a child to do it.
Right. I mean, that is pretty funny.
But that's the 80s. I mean,
right.
I mean,
yeah.
Life was different, guys.
Life was different. Yes. So I thought that, I just thought that was an interesting component of the movie, but not necessarily bad. Just,
well, because they weren't making fun of her. Yeah. Do you think they were?
I don't know. Maybe a little, because she did seem pretty like disturbed by the stuff he was saying. Like, you're going to have to be in this room locked with the cockroaches.
Yeah. And I guess it's like, why would you stay there then?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you need the money, then. But I don't know. I guess maybe it was an easy stereotype to make.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what it was. It just bothered me because of that.
Yeah, I get it. I see what you're saying.
But then the way that he was like you said, speaking not great Spanish, but then the Spanish he did know did help them later on.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
because like, okay, so he can like lock in and like use this knowledge for good.
Yeah,
if he needs it.
Well, I think falling on that was like an 80s trope too, like making fun of whatever, you know.
And then the mom of the Fratelli boys
Oh, did I not? I forgot to mention her.
Yeah, I didn't.
Let me go back. Hold on.
I was going to say, do you have anything on her?
I do. I totally forgot.
She
yeah, it's actually kind of sad.
It's sort of weird. She reminds me of my grandmother.
Oh my god!
But like my grandmother wasn't like mean.
She was a
but
criminal?
she was. Maybe not that I'm aware of, but she was very. I always remember she was very direct in how she delivered things, and she looked and sounded a lot like that lady.
So
and she was
funny.
like a smoker her whole life.
Yeah,
so she had like that voice
that raspy
too.
Voice.
So I was just watching, and I was like, that looks like my grandma.
Well, okay, let me go back. I rewound my notes. So her name, the actress name, was Anne Ramsey. Okay. She was also a character actor. She had lots of roles, like small movies, TV shows. In the mid 80s, though, she discovered she had throat cancer.
Ooh.
And she had to have parts of her tongue and jawbone removed.
Dang.
Yeah. This was after this movie.
Okay.
But another movie she's famously known for is Throw Mama from the Train with Danny DeVito. She played his mom.
Okay.
And in that movie, and that was in 87, in that movie, you can kind of tell like her speech was affected.
Okay.
From having those surgeries. She was in Scrooged in 1988.
Yep.
She was one of the homeless people. Do you remember her?
I do. Yeah.
But then she died in 1988.
Oh,
yeah.
Jeez. I feel like a lot of people from this movie died young. Maybe not a lot, but
I mean,
we're talking
she was
about
older,
her
but
and then Sloth.
Yeah,
I guess just those two, but still.
Well, and I think Richard Donner is no longer.
That's because he had all those big things, and then it sort of dropped off after Lethal Weapon. So he must have passed away.
I'm not sure.
Interesting.
But anyway, I forgot
so
her.
That's it.
My bad.
I don't really have any other thoughts except that I really. Oh, you asked me which Goonie I would.
Yeah,
be.
which Goonie would you?
Well,
be?
I think I would be Mikey, right?
I think you would.
Yeah, I would be Mikey. I'm pretty sure.
That's what Troy said he would be too.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. You don't think Troy would be Dada? Isn't Troy kind of like handy? No.
Handy? No.
Troy's
Smart?
handy.
Yes.
Smart,
Neither one of
yes.
us is handy. We call people to fix everything. We don't know how to do anything.
I know, we're the same way.
Literally.
I've been trying to do what I can on my own, and I'm just like,
our favorite thing is when we talk to people about something like, I don't know, like if something's broken and they start to tell us, oh, you could easily fix that and get this and that. And we're just like, we glaze over and we're like, yeah, we're not, we're going to call someone. We do not know how. Nobody taught us how to do stuff.
Right.
So
that's fair.
Troy has taught himself how to do some things, but like,
yeah, same with me. I pick and choose. And then I'm like, a few times that I've done that, like I fixed something on our dryer once, but it was like to get the part I needed took a few days. And then it got there, and then it took me several hours, and it did work. But I'm like, I could have paid $100 for someone to come out 3 days ago and just do what I just did.
I know. We're the worst. We don't know how to fix car stuff. We don't. But anyway, he is very smart. I don't know. I was like, well, we already know I would be Chunk.
Yeah.
I think Cooper would be Mouth. I'm just saying.
You're just saying that because of his age and such. I could see, and maybe I only see Cooper as Mikey because I think he looks like Mikey.
He does look like him.
I think it could be a combination between Mouth and Mikey.
Yeah,
for sure. No one's brand. No,
he's
just
really
his own thing.
You have too many people in your family. You have to be your own Goonies.
That's true.
I was just sitting here like, God, we got a lot of people to go through in your house.
Yeah. Well, when I had Tegan, our fifth kid, people would be like, oh, you can have a basketball team now or whatever. So we'll just add that to our list. We can have a Goonies squad, be our own Goonies. Let's just do it. Okay.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
Okay. So what is your final rating?
Are we doing 4 or 5 stars?
Well, I mean, isn't it usually 5?
I can't remember. Oh, right. Because you gave...
I said 3.
3. Yeah, and it was 2 under.
And you were appalled.
And I was appalled. I re-listened to that, and I really talked you down. You're like, fine, 2.5. I shamed you into a 2.5. I'm like, you're saying you don't like misogyny or whatever. That's the whole movie. I was all mad. Anyway, but this one, I guess I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to think why I wouldn't give it a 5. Personally, it wasn't like my favorite movie of all time. Like it was good. But I don't think I'll watch it again or anything. So just for that point, I'll probably give it a 4.5.
Okay. I totally called this. I told Troy, I don't think she's going to like it as much as I do. And I said, because it's just not, it's still kind of in that fantasy realm.
I think that's it.
A little bit.
I think that's it for me. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But even like in the cavern and stuff, I'm just like, like my brain wasn't logically connecting how they got underground.
It's not supposed to be logical.
I know, but it was bothering me. And then they're in like
You're
this
so
lagoon and there's a ship. And I'm like, how did no one find, like, so for those reasons, I'm going to say 4.5, which is pretty good. Pretty good.
Actually, that is really good.
Yeah.
Well, 5 out of 5 for me. This movie still holds up. I think it's so fun and so good. And it's just one of those movies you can watch and it's fun and you're done and you're happy. Like you weren't sad.
True. No, not at all.
Right?
I was definitely happy.
You weren't irritated like you were after Porky's.
No.
You didn't feel gross.
I didn't feel gross. I felt happy. I was like, all right, characters. And I will say, you go, characters. That's what I probably said, too. Because I just say things like that. But I will say, if you take the individual actors, this is what was really genius about the casting and how they did all this. And now what you're telling me about how the director had different ideas with the kids, how to make it really genuine. Individually, I liked each Goonie, including Brand. And then as a group, they were a really good mesh.
Yeah.
They did a good job because, I'll be like, I can't tell them apart. This movie, I was like, yes. Now, granted, there was some androgyny, like, not androgyny, but like they were, white kids mostly.
Yes.
Right. So there's that. But I felt like their personalities and their line delivery and all the things were very different. And so that I did think they did a really good job with that. Like they had just enough personalities for them each to kind of stand out.
Yeah.
Which I did like. They did a good job with that.
Yeah. But you're right. I mean, yeah, it was very non-diverse.
Yeah, but
that was the 80s.
That's what we keep finding.
That was the 80s. I mean, and we're not saying that's okay. That's just what it was. And
yeah, it's what we're going to keep finding.
Yeah.
Should we do trivia?
Yes.
Speaking of the 80s.
Shall we?
Hand me either one.
Well,
all right, I got 80s. I get 80s. So we are doing like totally 80s. I'm going to ask Danny a trivia question from that. And she's got, what's it called? Hella 90s?
Hella 90s. So for those of you who are new here, if it's your first episode, thank you for staying till the end.
Yes.
Some people just turn us off after a while. So you made it. We ask each other a trivia question, one from the 80s, one from the 90s. Every episode that we remember to do this.
Yes. Yes, that helps. Okay, I've got one.
All right.
Oh, it's your favorite. It's 80s spelling bee.
Oh, God. At least it's not math.
It's not math. Just spell the name. You get 3 tries.
All right.
John McEnroe, tennis professional.
Okay. Oh, no. I don't remember if it's John or Jon. So we'll go John. McEnroe. Oh, I should know this. Caden, please don't know. I don't. Is it MACENROE?
It's just MCENROE.
Well,
but you got John right. Nice. Good job.
Well, sports. That's all I got to say about that. Okay. Hold on. That one's sad. I don't want to do that.
Ooh, I want to ask you this one too, just because it's very interesting.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. At its height, how much money did the Pablo Escobar cartel allegedly spend per month on rubber bands just to hold their stacks of money together? Every month, how much did they spend?
$1,000.
$2,500.
Get out of here.
That's what it says.
On rubber bands.
Rubber bands.
Damn.
What a rubber band budget. That's like
But
rent.
also to have that much money that you need that many rubber bands.
That's crazy.
Come on.
now.
And when you buy a pack of rubber bands, there's like 200 in a bag.
Yeah, and it's not that much. Even now.
Whoa.
Like,
that's wild.
Spending that much now would be a lot, let alone back
did they
then.
actually have an accountant that like kept track of that? Or they just
It says allegedly that's what they spent in a month.
So that might just be an urban tale.
Could be.
All right, here we go. Ready for this one?
Yes.
What clear beer alternative was introduced in 1993 and billed as something different?
Zima.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't say that wrong. It's ZOMETHING.
Something different. I don't remember that part.
I don't either.
But I was thinking it was Zima, and then when you said it with a Z, I was like, it's got to be.
Yeah, Zima. They were pretty much wine coolers.
Yeah.
But I've said this before on here. The best thing you would do is put a Jolly Rancher in the Zima to change the flavor
and the color,
even more sugar.
Yeah. I actually, as soon as I said Zima, I was thinking of the Jolly Rancher because once you said that to me, now that's just what I think about.
I know.
Haven't tried it, but
well, they don't make them anymore, so you can't try it.
Can't try it. That's right.
I mean, how sad.
R.I.P. Zima. Something different that no longer exists.
I don't even remember what that tastes like.
Me either. I was just having the same thought.
I feel like I think it tasted like Sprite with alcohol in it, but like not good alcohol.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it had a weird aftertaste.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was almost like super carbonated.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Okay, if you remember what Zima tasted like,
describe it for us, please. And thank you, everyone, for listening to our Xennial Girl Summer movie edition. Let us know if you like the Goonies. You can make a checklist of all the things you disagreed with or that we got wrong, like Ben does, and we will listen. We will listen to you. But also, if you enjoy listening to us, even if you disagree with us, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening. If you leave a little note with it, that helps too. You can just be like, I loved this episode, or they're great, or anything like that. That actually gives it way more weight than just the stars. But if you don't have time to do all that, stars are fine.
Time.
We'll take them. We'll take them. And you can come on over to YouTube and TikTok. We're on Instagram and Facebook as well. And find us all the places so other people can find us.
Some of our YouTube shorts are doing pretty well. And it's always the ones I'm like, really? That's okay.
Yeah.
Like the Fugly one.
Oh, yeah. Is it doing well?
Yes.
People agree with you. Fugly needs to come back. That's what it is.
Look, YouTube spoke. Fugly, bring it back.
Okay. Now
somebody even commented and said, me and my daughter call each other that all the time.
Oh, my God. Whoever you are, I love you.
I know.
That's great.
So good.
That's really good.
All right, guys. Till next time.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.